Some artists create artwork focusing on the beauty that's around them, such as sunsets or important landmarks. But for Bill Seaman of Duke University, there's a hidden beauty in things that many people see as an eyesore.
I often work with this kind of punning nature about architecture, but also the architecture of thought. And I think about, one of the things in teaching I talk about is a multi-perspective approach to knowledge production. So when you look at my text, sometimes it's more like a poem, sometimes it's more like philosophy, sometimes it's more like linguistics, sometimes it's a joke, sometimes it's art historical. And the trick was, how can I make this text be so open, but at the same time still feel like it all works together? And that's where the viewer participant, they complete the meaning of it in their own navigating through the work.
Well, it demands your kind of quiet attention to get your bearings. It's a conceptual show, so it isn't as though they're portraits of well-known people or landscapes where you can immediately feel grounded. You're a bit off the ground when you first walk in to, as I say, kind of get your bearings as to what this is about, because it's obviously well thought out. There's a feeling in an ambiance in the room from the piano and from the images, and then there's this range of text that elicits different responses.
When stepping inside of Bill's suspended sentence exhibit at the Umass Dartmouth College of Visual and Performing Arts, you become curious of his choice of artwork. But the more time you spend examining, you start to realize that each and every piece of art has its reason for existing.
I'm a musician as well as a media artist, is what most people would call me. And so I've done all of the image, music, and text. In this piece, there's a noise. It's, as you say, quite annoying, a drone that the electric system makes in the gallery. And so instead of ignoring it or trying to cover it up or whatever, I took the piano, and I played the piano in this piece, and shifted the pitch of it so that the pitch and other sounds in the music are all in tune with that drone. So it's a kind of special tuning.
It's sort of a hypnotic presence as you go in there, and I've always been a fan of ambient music, so to speak. Music that comes out of speakers when they're not being used, or airplane sounds, or tugboat sounds. So I really like the interaction between the sort of the strangeness of those ambient sounds and the beauty of some of the visual creations that Bill did.
So for me, the most beautiful works are works that you can come back to over and over again, are works that you can, each time you approach the text or things, you get new things out of it. There's no right way to understand it, there's no correct reading. Each person will bring their own set of associations. It was very much influenced by Marcel Duchamp, some people say here. Especially a work he did called The Large Glass. And in that work he did a whole set of notes that are very abstract, and for 30 years I've gone back to this work and I keep reading these things in relation to each other. So this is my kind of way of approaching that. And you'll find a lot of art historical references in the work, both to him and to other artists.
Well, what I really appreciated was truly a conceptual foundation to his thinking and to his ideas. combined with a deep resonance of feeling. And so it balanced both of those. You might say it balanced the cerebral excitement of thinking about things with the heartfelt experience of what we also want from art.
What's so nice about the piece is that there's such an ambiguity on so many levels about what things are and why it's there and why it's not there. And I think one of the values of Bill's work is that he plays with ambiguity. And when you play with ambiguity, you lead to some sort of confusion, but also meditative feeling. And that's what I get when I'm in there as well.
Ask 10 people about Bill Seaman's art, and you'll receive 10 different answers. He's a digital artist, a musician, a storyteller, but most importantly, he's sharing his artwork and guiding young artists to become innovators and to make people think.